And welcome to what I'm calling the second inning, because this is the second interview with Jim, the second inning of an interview with Jim Mazza, who, if you don't know who he is, the way this guy's blowing up and taking over the scene, give it time, you're going to know exactly who it is. So tonight we're going to go back a couple months ago. We talked right about in the middle of the pandemic and everything he was leading up to it. But since then, Jim's put out some amazing prints. His stuff is all online. Espresso Beans has hit up pretty hard with his work. People have enjoyed the buzz. So tonight we're going to take off right where we left off last time and kind of dig into that and go right into it hard and heavy. But before we do that, let's get to the simple stuff. Jim, man, how you doing over there on the West Coast?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you.
Jim, now we both have lived in cold weather climates most of our lives. You're now in the West Coast in an area that typically doesn't see snow. Is that right?
Yeah, very rare, very rare.
Now, are you seeing snow right now?
No, it's only. I mean, it's only. I've only actually seen it snow twice in this area where I live, and it like didn't amount to anything. It's just like snowflakes falling down.
A slight sprinkling. Well, it's just interesting
Yeah.
because it seems like everywhere I'm looking online right now, every single state's getting inundated with snow. So I just assumed, and the old assumption.
I mean, if it did snow here, we'd probably be in shape like Texas.
It is nuts. They were talking a little while ago. They were talking about Miss America. I guess they had the Miss America pageant there. I have no desire to. I could care less about Miss America. Like it does nothing for me. But I guess all of the people there, like they're supposed to fly out, but they're all stuck in hotels.
Oh
Like I
man.
guess that don't have running water and stuff. So they were on the news complaining about how hard they have it and stuff. And I'm like, just lay back and relax. Like it's gonna be okay. You'll get home soon enough, and just the old good old Miss America. Anyway, let's get right into the art. So the last time we talked, the last print that I remember talking to you about was going to be the you had just done the you were working really heavily on art pieces. Like you were transitioning from a lot of gig posters from the year before into really working heavily on your art prints. And that you had said at that time that's something that you have always wanted to do. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like when I first started getting into gig posters, I remember I would go to flat stocks and stuff, and I would see other artists that were doing like art prints and that type of thing. And early on, I really kind of had a hard time trying to figure out what I wanted to do as far as like my own art. Like it was always easier for me to create an image, for a band or be inspired by some lyrics or something like that. And I think, you know, over the last 16, 17 years, I've kind of develop certain characters in my work and stuff like that, and imagery and that type of stuff. And I just kind of it made it a lot easier to start transitioning into art prints and paintings and toys and stuff like that just don't doesn't have a band name on it but still is recognizable, as my work. And people kind of look for that now.
Well, the one thing I said last time, and I'm going to say it again, is your work is very distinctive. Like you have a very distinctive style that stands out. There's something that you look at, it's Mazza art. It just stands out, and I really enjoy that about it. Because it's your pieces have that, like there's like a very lifelike appearance, and there's very like this like out of this world. I don't know. It's just got this great twist of stuff that's unique to you, and it's. And I love that because there is a lot of art that you kind of look at and you can see similarities between them, but yours is very much stands out, and I love that about it.
Thank you.
And what I appreciate and I respect a lot in these trying times in this pandemic and since the last time we spoke, a lot of artists have had a struggle or whatnot trying to keep themselves afloat, and something that you've done tremendously well, and I applaud you for this, is that you keep putting out killer piece after killer piece, and you're selling them out, and not only killer piece after killer piece, but you put out the t-shirt and the hoodie line that those sold super quick. And the dude, it's just, man, I applaud you, man, because you did something that I just a lot of people couldn't, and it's just you got a backing that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I got really lucky. I mean, it's really like I think about it often how grateful I am for the people that buy my work and support me on a consistent basis. I mean, it seems like every drop throughout most of this year, when I look through the orders, it's always it's a lot of the same names. You'll have new people coming in, but there's always that steady group of people that seem to buy almost every drop. Um, so they're kind of the ones that make it possible, and you know you
Well,
can't really side of that as an artist, because without them, you're not going to be able to do much.
well, the thing too is people aren't going to buy, and they're not going to buy shit. Let's just be realistic. People aren't going to buy shit art. Like, people aren't going to buy if because unfortunately there is people out there that create things and people just can't get behind because it's just not their thing. But
Yeah,
when you create things that and you have that ability to be open to the public, which you very much are, people can support that. When you can put a face to what's coming out, and that's what's pretty wild.
yeah,
Let's talk about some of the pieces that came out since we last talked. When you last talked, you actually put out the last thing I remember was we had talked about the resin figure, which that sold out.
yeah. That was actually a pre-order, so but it sold really quick. I mean, I think it was like a 4 or 5 minutes, which
That,
was
that,
pretty cool. I mean, I was pretty happy considering it was my first, art toy release, basically.
I mean that. Now, was it difficult having to transition from having to make like something that's flat and not three dimensional to having to design something that is three dimensional?
Um, Not really. I mean, there was limitations that you kind of have to keep in mind as far as molding goes and stuff like that, and going back and forth with the people that were making the mold and casting the resin they would kind of tell me things that would need to be adjusted and stuff like that. Um, but the biggest thing for me is I would have to do a turnaround, which is basically like a front, back, side, and three-quarter view of the character, maybe a top view, or depending on the sculptor. Um, but I have a background in animation, so that kind of stuff is not that hard for me to do. I've done it before.
Yeah.
So I just kind of to these characters, and I'll do a turn for the sculptor, and then I'll hand it off to them, and then basically they'll send me updates, and I'll just make notes right on top of their JPEG, but it's of a 3D model, so I can just draw on there, and if I need something adjusted. And so it wasn't too bad. It was pretty smooth.
Now, is this something we're going to see more of down the line, or is there going to be more of a figure collection come out, or is this going to be something that maybe is a one-time deal and you might revisit it later down the road?
No, I'm pretty heavy into it right now. Um, I got one piece being the resin is about to be cast. The mold's been made. I got another one. I've posted this little rabbit action figure I made. I've posted him on Instagram, but we ran into a couple little hiccups. But now I've had one of my guys is casting the resin for that right now. So I should have some of those pretty soon. But that's going to be like an action figure with like a card back and stuff with art on it, and like a little bubble case that goes over it, kind of
Oh,
like a Star
sweet.
Wars figure.
Dude, I dig those things. Like those are that just throws me back because like growing up, you'd get those things and just that whole like you bend it back and then the piece would pop out and the figure and all the pieces would fall out. Like I
Yeah,
miss those days. Like that
that's what I'm
life was
talking
much simpler
about.
then.
My youth through art, basically. Like all the things I loved when I was a kid is what I get to make as an adult.
Oh, well
Kind of crazy.
that's what it's all about. It's kind of like you're making those things that were in your head back in the day to reality now.
I mean, action figures were like action figures, GI Joe specifically, and like Star Wars and comics, and they were like two like hugely influential things on me. And skateboarding was another big one, but yeah. So as far as the figures go, I got those two in the works, and then I got another one that's in the prototype phase. So I'm waiting for the prototype to be printed out. It's all sculpted.
Nice.
Then there's another one that's supposed to be starting on in March, but we'll see. I'm not sure if that one's gonna go through right away, but it'll definitely happen at some point.
So, and then the other thing that you did differently during the pandemic was you did that letterpress of the woolly mammoth and the astronaut looking figure on top of him, which I had a question about that astronaut figure. There was some resemblance from that and the guy from the Flaming Lips kind of thing. Are these like in a similar like world? Are these like characters that you might
Yeah,
cross pollinate on prints or?
I feel like something I do that it's not. I'm not really that conscious of it as far as I use a lot of spacemen.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily the same person. I do the same thing kind of with my bearded giant dudes. They kind of look similar, but they're not this. They're not the same exactly. Um, so no, it's not the same person.
See, you beat me because I'm like, wow, Jim's just developing this like crazy world of like bearded pipe smoking people across all these bands and these astronauts like live. Well, there goes that theory, you know.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, they all kind of inhabit the same world, I guess, but they're not the same characters, I guess.
Sure, sure.
They're kind
Now,
of a lot of the time like that the woolly mammoth and the spaceman, that was a image was on a built to spill poster. Um, so kind of the way it works a little bit for me is like I think of it as it's almost like a character development. Like like that was probably the first time I drew a spaceman on it something. So like the next time I draw it, I'm thinking, how can I make this character better, or like more interesting or whatever. So I think the next time I drew a spaceman was on the Claypool Lennon Delirium poster where he's got the monkey on his chest and in like a baby carrier on his chest, and he's got the lasso. And I don't know if you've seen that one.
so
Um,
the the only one I saw because I went to that tour because the Flaming Lips, not the Flaming Lips, yeah, the Flaming Lips were on that tour as well. The one tour I saw, but there was like, did you? There was like I have a T-shirt with a spaceman on the front of it. I don't know.
no, it's not that. This one was quite a while back. But anyways, yeah. So when I tend to kind of you can see like if you look through all the posters I've done with Spaceman, you can kind of see a progression of like how they evolve basically over the years. Whether it's I've gotten a little better at drawing or whatever, or my ideas are a little more fleshed out, type of thing, stuff like that. I mean, the same thing for the bearded guys and some of the unicorn. You can see like the four-eyed unicorn that I drew was first on a Ween poster, but it's actually changed quite a bit, over the years on different posters. And I liken it a little bit to like, I mean, it's similar to like when you saw that first episode of The Simpsons, or like in the movie theater before a movie, and like if you look at it now, they look so much different back then.
It really
They just
does, yeah.
as they worked on the show.
Yeah, it's funny you mention it. Like, so when Disney Plus came out, my kids were like, "Hey, let's catch up on The Simpsons." So we
Yeah.
watched the first episode, which is the Christmas episode when they get Santos El Harper,
Mhm.
or well, Santos. I don't know. I always assume El Harper because of Pearl Jam. Anyway, but they get Santos, and then it's like you look at the cartoon itself, and it's kind of weird. Um, you know, like just the difference like that looks like, and then if you watch like 3 seasons later it gets better, 3 seasons later it gets better, like the progression, but even like Toy Story is another prime example. If you look at Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 3 and like the progression of like technology and art, it's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of my mindset when I'm doing this stuff. Like, I try not to get too caught up in like having a character that needs to look exactly the same every time I do it, because I think it's probably going to be better 2 years down the road than it was. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Unless eventually I get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm going to try and stick to this model basically. Um, but I'm not afraid to change it up a little bit and experiment and
Well, experiment's the key word that I find is interesting about this year because, and like I said last night on the one show I had last night, is like, even though this year, with the pandemic really sucked. I mean, let's be realistic. It sucked. It changed our lives. It did slow us down and reevaluate what we were doing and how we can address and do things differently. With like we talked about, you making the resin toy, and then the other thing I want to bring up that that blew my mind is like you did the one piece that we were just talking about, the letterpress of the woolly mammoth, which is something totally different. Now, I personally have never seen, but it was you wouldn't expect that looking at the image online and seeing what it comes out to be is two different. It's something that's unique and special in its own sense. Doing that process, was that something you had wanted to do leading up to it, or was it just something that came out of nowhere?
No, actually, it's funny. Like when I think when we got locked down here in like March, and I got asked to do that group pushing paint where you do like the songs an art print inspired by a Pearl Jam song, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a five. That was like my first letterpress, and I did a 5 color letterpress for that one, and I really liked the. I really kind of fell in love with it. Although I will say that 5 colors is a bit much on a letterpress, so I was, I did that one, and then I kind of like pulled it back, and I decided I was going to start doing just kind of like single 1 color line art pieces, because I feel like that's kind of the charm of it. You got the embossed kind of feel to it, and it's the simplicity of it, and you can
Yeah.
kind of it's just on the line work and that type of thing. So I think I've done 5 letterpresses since then, um, and people really like them. So I keep, I'm like, oh, people like them, and I like making them. So I keep kind of making sure I try to do one every so often.
Well, it's the piece itself. What I really liked about the piece, it was the original writer.
Yeah,
Okay, is that it? I like how there's a lot of negative space on the bottom,
yeah,
where like it's coming out. You know, to like an image, like the clouds that form around it, that negative space coming through, and that different uniqueness. And I've always liked the rough cut on the edges because you don't you wouldn't mat that. You can almost put that with like just a flat color behind it to make it pop a
yeah,
little bit,
yeah,
and it's unique in its own sense. It's a different kind of piece. It's a different kind of it's a statement. There's just so much to it. You know, no, I really dig it, and it's cool that you were able to accomplish this. And then another thing you did was you made the hoodie and the t-shirts come out this year. So all these different pieces that when you're in a regular year when bands are touring and stuff, you're getting hit. That's when work's coming in. You got to do that because that comes priority over own passion pieces. You do these passion pieces because it's something you want to do. You're building up these things, and then they're selling really good. Like, how does that make you feel, like when you can see that turnaround of like, hey, I know this is selling because it might say Foo Fighters, even though personally I know it has a lot more to do with the art, or
yeah,
hey, this is selling because it's something to do with this, but then you're seeing things come together that it's your art that's selling.
yeah. I mean, it's like the ultimate best feeling, basically. I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, that's what you. I think. I mean, I'm not speaking for every artist, but for me, personally, that's kind of like the ultimate goal. Is to be able to sell your own work and not have to rely on anybody else's name being on it, or I mean, granted, I will say that a lot of my art prints are, inspired by images that I've done or concepts that I've done for bands, and I think people relate to them that way. But I've also put out quite a few things this past year that didn't relate to any band, image that still sold well. So, um, yeah, it's a great feeling, honestly. I mean, yeah, sometimes I have to pinch myself.
Now, leading up to the pandemic, were you working on anything that was supposed to go out for bands that is not going anywhere right now that you're kind of waiting on, or that held you up at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did when everything started getting canceled. I had a Chris Stapleton poster that I was supposed to do that ended up becoming the Hard Road art print that I did for the Gaba Gallery show back in June. So I used that, and that went over really well. The one art print I just released, the Nothing's Normal and Never Was print with the guy in the boat with the banjo.
Yep.
That was Abbott Brothers poster that was supposed to be for April. So I just kind of the whole time I was working on it, I was like, man, this would make a really cool art print. And then the show got canceled or postponed, and I was like, I'm just gonna use it as an art print. But it still took me until just the end of the last year to finally get back to finishing it. Uh, yeah, so you know,
So even though
it's
even though you had that issue up front where it's like, all right, well, shit, these bands are being postponing shows. I have this work
yeah,
I put into it. You were able to still turn it around and create it into an art print that was still
yeah,
extremely successful and taken over very well by the fans.
yeah. It worked out really well for me.
And the snail and the piece with him in the boat that was supposed to be an Avett Brothers piece, like there's a lot of line work in that piece, and there's a lot of detail going into that piece. So when you look at a piece like that, or when I'm looking at a piece like that right now, how many hours would you say is wrapped up into that piece?
Um, that one was quite a while. I think it was probably a couple weeks, probably like Monday through Friday type stuff. And then probably a couple days to separate it. So we're talking 100 hours at least.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, dude. I mean, I really appreciate it. And the one thing I do appreciate about looking at your art, and I'm looking at a couple different now, is like the color palette, like how you're able to use the contrast of different tones of green to bring things forward and bring things back to give it depth. Which I feel like sometimes you look at prints and you love them, but like maybe the color palette doesn't match it so well. Um,
Yeah.
is that something, because you said you come from a background in illustration. Was that
Correct.
something that you learned early on?
Well, I went to school for animation, but honestly, color was something that when I got out of school, I got a job at a internet place, and we were doing like a bunch of Disney stuff. It was like exclusively like Disney online content, and they hired me as an animator, but I was doing like next to no animation. I was just designing stuff, and that was like a really um, I was kind of lacking in my design skills and color theory and all that stuff. So I remember the art director. One of the first things I worked on was like all it was like all blues, and I basically he sat me down next to his desk and like basically ripped it apart, and like the way we were in it was like a bullpen, so like everybody around can all hear this, and it's like demoralizing. So yeah, I really made it a point to kind of like work on my color theory and like working on uh, yeah, making some good color choices, and it's paid off over the years, but it took a while to get to where I am now,
Dude,
for sure.
I guess you have in the back of my mind. I don't want to get demoralized by this guy again. Let me make sure my shit's
It
correct. I
was
don't.
it was brutal. Let me tell you, that was like the first time I've ever had like something like that happen to me.
Mm.
And I was already nervous as it was, so that like kind of just put me in like a bad a bad place.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
oh,
didn't
dude.
go.
So with all this coming out, and then you have everything, the cat, the metal horns, the was no, the that was the slip mat that came with the T-shirt for the cat, but the slip one had sold out. But you had the cat shirt that just came out, which was a bit. That's still, you still have some for sale, correct? Or no, that's sold out.
Still going.
All right.
It's funny. I usually do the pre-sales because I don't like, I try not to have too much stuff just sitting around. Like, so I'll sell them. Whoever wants it can get it through the pre-sale.
Sure.
Uh, but for this one, I just decided to, have them printed up. So they'll probably sit there for a little while, but hopefully they'll sell through eventually.
Well, let's go. You know what? As you speak, I'm putting it on my list. I'm gonna buy one tonight. Add to cart. Got it. All right. So we're gonna. I'm buying one as we speak. How do you like that one? Shameless
Appreciate.
promotion. Everyone, go out buy a T-shirt. Let's see. Now with all this stuff coming out and with the pandemic in place, I mean, and dude, like I said, I'm just super impressed with everything you're doing. Now, as we move forward, do you have a pretty heavy workload going forward of some stuff that we should be expecting coming out soon?
Oh man, I got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Just some personal, mostly personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doing another commission and then another commission after that. Um, I don't know if you saw the Jimi Hendrix series that the Echo Gallery is putting on. I'm doing something for that, so that's
Dude,
coming up soon.
now let me ask you a question, and just you don't have to answer it in a way that you're giving away anything. Blink twice. There's a lot going on there because they just did the David Bowie, then they did Kiss, now they're doing Hendrix. Are you involved in any more series coming up with them?
Um, I'm not. The only one I really committed to was the Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
For now, I mean, it's not. I don't know that means that that's the only one I'll do, but I didn't want to take on too much,
Sure. Now,
because I like kind of getting used to doing my own thing, so I don't have to book up too much stuff.
I can only imagine. Now, I have spoke to Hampton and a few other people that are working on some pieces from those series. With you being attached to that, and I understand those licensing are they're very strict. Is
Yeah.
there like were they pretty heavy into what they wanted in the prints, or are they just attached to it because they're like, listen, we know this guy can knock it out of the park?
I think they're they're very much want the artist to do their own thing and like interpret it the way they want. There is an approval process, but so far, it's been fairly simple, for the most part.
Well, that's awesome. Now, when should we expect to see that one?
I don't know. I'm supposed to start working on it soon, but I have no idea what the actual like release schedule is like. Um, I imagine there's probably more than one person working on one at the same time, most likely.
Yeah,
So
because the Echo Art Studio, I think that one with the Hendrix, that one has quite a few artists attached to it. But I mean, that one I believe has one, two, three, four, yeah, like five, yeah, six of them. So that's a 7 series print. So yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm
That's gonna
looking
be
for.
really good.
I've been wanting to do a Jimi Hendrix thing, and it's good that it's legit and licensed and all that. So that makes it cool.
Well, I mean, dude, what the cool thing about all this that's really cool about this whole setup is like even like Bowie, Kiss, Pink Floyd. I didn't even know there was Pink Floyd until Craig on here said about Pink Floyd, and I'm looking at the website now and I see I didn't even realize Floyd was doing anything. I
Yeah,
mean, those are like licenses that they're never really given out. There's a lot of like commission pieces and stuff that are great, and I love them. But
yeah,
like to have it backing of the band, it just makes it a little bit more special.
yeah,
I jumped on the Kiss Hendrix. I will be. I mean the Hampton Kiss. I will be
yeah.
jumping on the Mazza Hendrix like that. There will be a spot on the wall for that.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, it's such good stuff, and I like the fact that they said it is licensed.
Yeah,
Talking about music and everything music, and we talked about it. We actually became random texting of random bands. Like, listen to this, you listen to this here
yeah.
recently. What have you been listening to recently during this pandemic?
Ooh, man. I've just kind of been turned on to the band Camp. Have you heard of them?
No.
They're really, really good, actually. I think they're from Ohio. They're kind of like a um, rock folk, maybe I guess you would describe it, but they're
Cool.
pretty cool. So them, I still listen to a lot of the same the same stuff I was sending to you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, old habits kind of die hard, but and the new Foo Fighter album I've been liking a lot.
So you like the new Foo Fighters album?
I do.
I'm
I'm
have
not about one song. I won't name which one it is, but
Sure, sure, sure.
most of them I like quite a bit.
So like I'm not a diehard Foo Fighters loyalist. Like I like a lot of their stuff. I'm a singles guy for them, but I
Yeah,
try listening to the album, and it's good. And I appreciate them as musicians because I could never do anything they do. I just
yeah,
have a. I'm having like I'm not like it's not on repeat for me, and I'm finding myself like after a few songs like putting on something else. Like it's not
yeah,
something that I'm like digging into and enjoying. Like because the last album and then even the album before, like they were albums that I can listen through all the time. I could put it on repeat. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. It's just this one's not resonating with me as much as the past.
Hmm. I thought after there was the first couple songs I wasn't super into it, but there was some other ones that I like a lot. I like a lot more on the that haven't been actually released to the public yet, but
Oh,
or
the,
not to the, but you know what I mean. They weren't like they
the
weren't
singles.
released came out yet.
I'm about to say, I'm like, hold on a second. Jim's got secret Foo Fighter songs no
Oh,
one's
that's what
heard of yet. No, yeah, I will tell you, like, so what I did was, because it's the past year and stuff, especially with music, was like, I would go back into bands I really loved and listen to obscure albums. Like, I consider myself like a Pink Floyd loyalist, but like, if it isn't like The Wall and Dark Side of the Moon, like, I never really, like, those were two albums that on constant rotation throughout my, like, college days and even in my adulthood. So, like, after watching the Roger Waters Us and Them concert series, they had the song like Dogs on there. I'm like, what the hell is this song? Why is this 9 minute song so good? And I've never heard it before. So then I went and listened to the album Animals, and I went down this like Pink Floyd like rabbit hole, like of like listening to old music and just getting into that. So that's been kind of interesting because
Yeah.
there hasn't been that overload of new music that came out last year that we've had in previous years.
I've found that especially this past year, I've been listening to a lot of like older stuff, like the Kinks and the
Mm.
Car. And, what else? Kinks and the Cars are probably the two oldest ones. But man, every time they come on, I'm like so happy to hear it. Them and Tom Petty and all these older bands.
Well, it's the one band that I took a break from for a while, but then, or the artist, I took a break from a while because it was just kind of hard to listen to. And then they put out a song that he covered. So I had a hard time listening to Chris Cornell after he passed. It was just kind of, his music resonated, and it was just hard to listen knowing what happened. But then, this year, he did the cover to Patience, the Guns N' Roses song,
Oh
and
yeah,
that was like, first of all, it's really hard to listen to because like the emotion of knowing what his family had to go through and like what that song's about and how but that was like beautiful. But then I went down a Chris Cornell hole, and God, his solo stuff is just so underrated. Well, minus the Timberland album, which I don't think many people look at very often.
I was listening to one of his songs came on today, and it was like that electronic background, and I don't remember what album it was from, but I had to like skip it.
Yeah, like,
Anyway, most of the other stuff I love of his, but that type of stuff it just doesn't do it for me for some
yeah, that it
whatever.
was. I remember when he announced he was doing something with Timberland, and I'm like, that's just like that's not something I'm expecting. It's just it's a little weird mix. Now, there is something I'm bringing up in all my interviews, and once again, because this is just very important to me. We are weeks away, and I know you're a comic book fan, so this is very important. We are weeks away from actually getting the true Justice League movie, the Zack Snyder cut. Is this something you're excited about?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know that, but I'll watch it.
4 hours. It's R rated. The true
Yeah.
dark
Oh,
side. And then also they just showed. I don't know if you saw. I guess you didn't see the trailer the other day, but
no.
they actually have the Joker, Jared Leto's Joker's in this movie, but he doesn't have the teeth or the tattoos, and it's like him as like the Joker from the Dark Knight series from back in the '80s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm a big DC nerd. Like I love DC shit, and like I've waited for like this, so I'm excited about this. So
Nice. When is that supposed to be out?
March, I think it's March 8th or March 28th or something like that. It's in a few weeks. But yeah, it's 4 hours long, and it's supposed to be like it's Zack Snyder's vision of the movie. So it's because he had to leave after he lost his, I think it was one of his child or his brother, to suicide. I believe. Don't quote me on this, but it was something in his family had happened, and it was pretty intimate. So Zack Snyder left, and then Josh Whedon came in, and then he Marvelized it. And DC
Uh,
movies are just not meant to be Marvelized. And then I'm assuming you saw the last Justice League movie,
I did.
and it was just a little too hodgepodgey for me.
Yeah. I haven't been crazy about a lot of the DC movies, to be honest. The Batman ones I always usually like. But I don't know, they just don't hit the notes the same way Marvel has, I guess.
Yeah.
For whatever.
So I'm assuming being a Marvel fan, have you watched WandaVision?
I've watched the first couple episodes. I have to catch up.
Dude, it is the most confusing show. I'm not smart enough to understand this thing. I'm trying to figure it out. I feel
I
like
see
I'm one.
about it, so I'm like, I got to get into it, but I haven't had time to actually. It's one of those things like I watch most of my TV while I'm like drawing,
Yeah.
so it's usually if it's one of those shows you really have to be paying attention to figure out what's going on. So
Yeah.
I kind of been putting it off, and it's hard to get a time to watch it at night when after the kids go to bed. I usually don't feel like paying attention.
Well, of course. But no, yeah, that was one show like 3 episodes in. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what the hell is this got to do with anything? And then it just changes and everything starts making sense. But even still, like now I'm like, I'm pretty, I think I'm caught up. But like, even still, like, dude, you could pay me $1 million to try to explain that show. And I have no effing idea what's going on with that thing. It
I'll
is,
tell you- oh. But I will tell you one show that I have been watching just
Mhm.
recently is Resident Alien on Sci-Fi. Have you seen the previews for it?
Is that based off of the movie from the 90s or the 80s?
I don't. I have no idea. But
I'm gonna have,
it's got the guy from. Remember that movie Dodgeball
of
with the
course I
Ben
do.
Stiller? Well, the guy who plays the pirate, they thinks he's the pirate. He's
Yeah.
the he's the main character. It's a really cool movie. I mean, not a movie; it's a show. But yeah, it's really good. It's super funny, and you should check it out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, geez, I'm gonna have to see it. There's no, because I know Sci-Fi Channel put out a something that it was an alien, but it's based off the like this alien series from like the 80s of like these aliens living in the world and they're cops and stuff. I don't know. I forgot what that's called. No, so yeah, I have to. That's going on the list. Resident Alien. No, I just finished watching the Stand on CBS Plus, the Stephen King one.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of that as well.
Dude, it's really good. And
Yeah.
then it's just me and my wife were a little disappointed in how it ends.
Okay.
But it is what it is. I don't want to ruin it for you. You haven't seen everything. But I mean, that's what it is. It's crazy how like binge watching has become like the normalcy. Like before, like when people would talk about binge watching, you'd be like, "Do you know get a life?" Now it's like what? It's like you're trading notes on what you're binge watching and how you're accommodating things or seeing things. I mean, we've invested in a home theater at the house. We have like stadium seating in my basement now because it's like, well, we're not going to the movies. Might as well make a freaking movie theater.
I know.
Hey, you only live once. And I mean, it's kind of the idea that movies are now being released in an action that you can actually see them in your house instead of like having to go to a
Yeah.
theater, which I miss. But it's might as well enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I really miss the movie theater. Me and my son used to go, usually about once a week, which is cool to just hang out with him, catch a movie or whatever. But I'm looking forward to that coming back.
Yeah, it's there's so we travel an hour like 4 times a week for my son to play soccer, and in that town they have an Alamo Draft House. And what they're doing now is you can rent out a theater and see the most current movie, or like you could watch any movie you want, just bring the movie or something, and it's like $200. And I'll be honest with you, it has been extremely tempting just to do that because like the whole experience, it's almost like going to a concert. The experience of like, or even hell, even opening a print, it's like there's something about it, like about like going to the movie theater, getting a ticket, paying overpriced popcorn, buying overpriced candy, or sneaking in candy, which is kind of like a rush in its own sense, and then going to the
Yeah.
movie. That's kind of the fun thing. It's the same thing with like getting an art print. Dude, I have a flat file with hundreds of prints in them that'll probably never see a frame, but I have it. But there's no better feeling in the world of like popping the top. You get the whiff of the ink for the first time, especially if you get it brand new. You
Yeah.
unroll it and you see it and it's like it's mine. And then you flatten it out, you look at it, and then you shut the drawer, and then you got it. You own it. It's yours.
Yep. Yeah. Trust me, I know that feeling all too well. I like, especially with the toy stuff. I like see something, I have to have it. I get it, I open it, and then I set it on my desk or hang it somewhere, and then that's it. And just like
Oh,
that, it's like that rush of whatever dopamine or whatever it is that you
yeah,
get from.
it just triggers something. It's like, it is interesting. Like, so I have kind of limited myself a little bit on prints because I have like my whole basement. So I is wall to wall prints. Like every damn square inch of this house is. I got a couple spaces, and like I have like reasoning. I'm like, all right, well, I'm waiting for this artist to do something it's going here. Like right
Right.
behind me. Like I told Justin Hampton, I'm like, as soon as that Kiss print comes, it's gonna go right here. Like that's its spot. And I have some other pieces and stuff that I'm like waiting for. But for the most part, it's like you get to a point where it's like you got your walls can only be covered so much.
Yeah, we don't have that many prints hanging in our house, surprisingly, and
Really?
most of it's my stuff, which I'm not crazy about looking at all the time. But we have a Sperry hanging up and a couple. Oh, I have a David Welker and
Oh.
a couple methane prints, but you know, and then some of my stuff.
Now
My,
is it your wife goes out and frames it up and like puts it up as like
well,
like
we're both big Abbott Brothers fans, so whenever I do posters and she's really into it, she'll want to hang it up, So we'll hang those.
dude, that's awesome. It's kind of like it's kind of like that report card. You get it up. She approves of it. It's up. Now you get to look at it and be proud of it.
That's true.
You got the A+ report card. That's like, all over the house. That's how I'd look at it.
Yeah,
I wish
approved.
I could do something at work and my wife be proud enough to put it up on the wall, but that doesn't happen here. Oh man, but no, dude, it is pretty amazing what things how the turn of events and how things are going for you, and it's pretty exciting for that. Is there anything that you haven't done yet that's like on the bucket list as an artist that you still want to accomplish? I guess over the next before concerts and venues open, that you're that time of what is going to be pulled from you is going to be non-existent?
Hmm. I mean, one of the biggest things I've wanted to do is do like an actual vinyl figure. That's kind of like my big white whale at the moment. That, and I'm hoping to have a show of just paintings, or mostly paintings. I did two paintings this past year too. Um, One was for the Gaba Gallery show, the Bluebeard painting, and then I did another one, one fish show, which was for another Gaba Gallery show. So the idea is that we're just going to do a show that's mostly just paintings and maybe like a couple, some prints sprinkled in there or whatever, maybe another toy or something like that. But that's kind of, penciled in for that towards the end of the year, but we'll see.
Now, when you
The
do a
hard thing
paint,
with something like that is just setting aside the time to paint all those paintings. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You kind of have to take probably have to take at least a couple months just to get everything done, and then so you kind of have to plan in advance for, you know, bills
Now,
and that type of thing.
now, when you're doing paintings, is it like, is that something you look at like ever turning into a print? Like, I guess what they call them, Giselle, I can't ever say the Giselle, whatever the, yes.
Yeah, we did that with both of those paintings. So basically, I did the original painting, and then we do like a pretty limited run of G clay prints. We'll do like a regular size one, like mini print, and also one on like a special type of paper. Um, and it works out well. I really like it. I mean, it's a good way to mix it up, and um, the G clays look nice. So yeah,
That's great.
seem to dig it. It's just one other thing you can offer up that's not.
It's just different. Yeah, it's what also shows, it just shows the ability of what you're able to do, because some people only are digital artists and some people are just painters. The fact that you can translate to both, in a sense, that just shows that the resume that is Jim Mazza. Now, is, like I said, I'm just it's really impressive to me, because I think you might be one of the few artists that that has a lot of their art up in their house, because I talk to a lot of people and they don't really, most artists don't do it. So I think it's pretty
Yeah,
cool that you should, because like I said, if I did something like that, I'd want to share it. So that's pretty impressive. So that's pretty cool all the way around. When will we see the next piece that you've done?
um, trying to think. Oh, I don't really have. I don't think I have anything that's already ready to go, ready to be released. I think I'm working on a commission for a group right now that will probably be the next thing that people see,
Okay.
or it could be a toy. I'm not sure, depending on whichever one comes in first. But yeah, it'll either be one of two toys or that commission print. Um,
Nice.
yeah,
Dude, that's awesome. And I also want to take another minute real quick and just say thanks again. Jim is doing something for benefit we're doing in a couple of weeks, that we're announcing soon. That'll be in April. And I can't thank him enough. It's something very personal to me. So I appreciate you doing that for everything we're doing for this foundation, which I'll be announcing more information soon. So that's kind of how we met up about a year ago, and
yeah.
kind of grew from that. And we're actually going to be able to see the light of day of that. So, dude, I can't thank you enough for that. And then on another personal level, thank you for all the music recommendations, because you have sent me some pretty good picks.
My pleasure, man.
Now, question is, have you listened to anything I've sent you?
You'll have to refresh my memory. I know. I'm pretty sure I did listen to it when you sent it to me.
So the one I sent to you that I thought you were going to love was Jackson Pines.
Yes, I did dig it. I
Okay.
did.
I felt like that was like in your wheelhouse of like what, because you were sending me music. I'm like, all right, I got to find something. And then I'm like, all right, this band is right there for him. Like, all right, so I got something. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'll have to go back though. I did listen to it when you sent it, but I haven't revisited it. But I'll check
yeah.
it out again.
Yeah, because Danny Clinch is very much on board with them and pushing them like crazy. I think they're pretty darn close of having a breakout with the new album coming out in a couple weeks,
Oh,
and
cool.
they'll be on the show. They're gonna debut the album on the show, which is pretty unrealistic for me. But yeah, that's coming up in a few weeks. But yeah, I just it's unbelievable to me. Like that's my shit that I put up on the wall. Like just unrealistic shit.
Who was
Um,
it? You again? Was it? Tyler Childers, I think, was one of them, right?
I
Or did
did
you already?
say no. You did send me that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you did send me quite a few. I was like, dude, yeah, because that's the one I went down a rabbit hole with. You're like, yeah, listen to this, and you're like, well, some of the other ones get a little more country, but like
Yeah.
this one is, and then yeah, that I went down a rabbit hole with his stuff, and that stuff was like,
You know what's crazy about him is like you listen to his older stuff, and it's like it's not really country; it's more like Americana type
yeah,
stuff. But you get sucked in so much with that. But then if you revisit the country stuff, it sounds different. It doesn't sound like if you weren't to have heard, if you didn't never heard that older stuff and you just put on the country album, you probably and you weren't a country fan, you'd be like, I can't, this isn't for me. That's kind of how I felt, even though I had already listened to his stuff and loved him. When I first heard the newer album, I was like, why is he changing, what he's doing? And but now I listen to everything. Like I'll put it just on a playlist and I'll run through every album, and I love every one almost the same, equally for the most part.
you
It's a
know another.
weird thing to develop like this taste for it, even though I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it's kind of like similar like Ryan Adams. Like Ryan Adams, like if you listen to his first original art with Whiskey Town, that was a very much like country Americana. Then he went out
Yeah,
on his own and he did this like kind of indie rock thing. And
yeah,
then, he leaves and then he does like a metal album. And then he does then he did Cold Roses stuff and then he did the the Taylor Swift cover album. So he's all over the place too, but like if you only listen to one album and judge him on that one album, you wouldn't know that like the other stuff he's done. So I mean it's impressive when someone has the ability to turn different things out.
yeah. Agreed.
That Eddie Vedder print is awesome, someone just said.
Well, that's Vic. Thank you, Vic.
Yeah, no, it's dude. I mean, big fan base. A lot of people pushing out shit, dude. I mean, I'm always impressed because I wish I had the freaking talent like you have. It's just amazing when you can see someone that like when you put an image to paper and it can tell a story without you having to explain it. Like like whether it's what your story is meant to be, but you can actually pull something from it. I feel like you're doing your
Yeah.
job.
I don't like to explain my images too much. I like people to just kind of draw their own, you know, conclusions from it or make up their own stories from it. Um, you know, sometimes I'll have a little, like maybe a little blurb of text that kind of explain my thought process, but I don't want to go into like a whole detailed story because I feel like you kind of may alienate certain people, someone that may look at something and have that think it's something totally different.
No, I completely understand that, and it's but like as well, and until recently when you told me that, I thought all of your characters were this story of just jumping from print to print, only to find out they had no similarities. So I guess my bubble was popped on that one.
Asked me a very similar question. We were doing a Zoom thing, and he was like, "So are these fish characters with the legs? Are they all are they the same character?" And I was like, "No, not really. They're all just kind of." And he's like, "Oh yeah, now that I look at it, it looks like they're just kind of like all different." He kind of came to that same conclusion on his own, which was funny. It was we kind of laughing about it.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of artists do these. Like Dan Mumford is someone that I recently interviewed that he talked about. Like a lot of his prints, like kind of fall in line with that similarity of like they're in the same world almost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just part of creating that continuity, I guess. That people kind of look for in your work.
Yeah, it's well. I'm gonna pretend that you didn't tell me that these things don't exist in their own little world, and I'm just gonna believe it for now on that Jim Mazza has made this creative world of things, and it just kind of works. That the Flaming Lips print astronaut's the same one that's on the back of everything, so yeah, I'll take it as it is. No, yeah, dude, it's crazy, and I mean, like when I broke down the list of everyone you worked with, it's so impressive. Like and I know I said this in the last interview, but like when you look at the lineups of like Primus, you've done Eddie Vedder, you've done you've done Avett Brothers, you've done Ween, you've done Foo Fighters, you've done I think I said Primus, but I'll say it again. I mean the lineup is, and that's just like the top. That's like the foam of the beer. Like there's still
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff left, and your art prints, like I said this year, really do showcase the ability of growth and stuff that's absolutely out of this world.
Thank you.
You,
Yeah, I've been really fortunate to get to work with some of the bands, but it also came with years of emailing and sending samples and um, basically just constantly not constantly, but being that slight little pest that's always like there, like, hey, I'd love to do something for you. There was some bands like Widespread Panic. I probably emailed them like 3 or 4 times before they actually responded, and they only responded because some other artists bailed on them, and they were like, if you can get this done in a month. And I'm like, a month? That's like a year, basically. Like that was like a long time for me. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll get it done in a month. And then after that, you have a client that gives you consistent work.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
but yeah, I tell sometimes people will ask me, or younger artists will ask me about reaching out to bands and stuff like that, and I always make sure I tell them that a good portion of the bands that I've done work for didn't respond the first time I emailed them, or you know um, usually if they don't want your work or they don't need you, they're not going to respond and tell you that. So you kind of have to read into that and say, maybe I need to get better, or maybe it's not the right time, so you wait 6 months and try again, or send some new work, and maybe some of the newer work will appeal to them, or all it takes is that one little break, basically.
And what was your big break? What was the one that really defined you to move forward with?
Dude, I don't really believe in like the one big break. you know
Well, what
I
was
mean,
well,
there's
maybe not the break. Maybe that's a bad way of saying, it, but what was the one
yeah.
that started opening doors for you to continue to really start moving into other artists?
um Man, that's a tough one. I will say honestly, I'm going to give the credit to Eric Church,
Okay.
uh, mainly because he was one of the first artists that I did prints for through his management. So it kind of gave me that working directly with the artist cred, whereas before that I had been working with mostly promoters and club venues and stuff like that, which isn't really the same. A lot of times the bands don't get approval over that art. It's just more like used as a gift to them type of thing.
Yeah.
So when you're kind of trying to work your way into the management scene and working directly with the bands, it helps when you tell them, oh, I have this person, I do work for this person, or I do work for this person. Um, so yeah, he was one of the ones that gave me that first kind of foot in the door. And then it progressed pretty rapidly from there. It was, I think, him, and then I think Band of Horses. Actually, it's funny, we were talking about that. They were like shortly after that I started doing some work for them. um, but yeah, Eric Church, I mean, he's been my client for almost the whole, it's going to be 10 years in November that I've been doing this full time. And he was kind of right at the very beginning, came on right at the very beginning, and I've been working for him pretty steadily ever since. So,
Well, that's great. I
yeah.
did just get a text message from a close friend of mine that said, "Did you know that Jim Mazza did a Chris Cornell piece?"
Mhm.
And
I've
now
done
he sent me the picture of.
done three Cornell posters.
Oh, really? The one he sent me is this beautiful blue guitar
Yeah,
with.
that was the promoter piece. Um, that's actually my favorite print that I've done for him, though. And then I've done a couple others that were for his merch.
Dude, that. God, I just said a little while ago on the show that I wasn't going to be buying any more prints, and
One's
I'm
going
at
to
the.
be an art soon. The guitar.
Is it really?
Yeah,
So,
pretty soon. Next couple months.
oh, that's gonna have to be something I buy.
But it's going to look a little different. It's not going to look exactly like that. It's going to be the guitar with the thorns, but it's going to be some other stuff added to it, kind of to commemorate Chris Cornell. But it's not going to say obviously Chris Cornell on it.
Sure,
It's going to
sure.
be a commemorative piece.
Oh man, this is, dude. I really love this. Now, once again, it's coming across. People saying they really like your work. Everyone keeps talking about it. Everyone enjoys your stuff, man. Your following is unparalleled to many other followers. I mean, it's anytime you put your stuff out, it's very, like you had said before. The people that purchase, it's very similar in the following, that they say they love it. They spread the word. You have that great following behind you. getting to know you. You're an amazing artist. You're an awesome human being. And I just applaud you for everything you've been able to do during this pandemic and these crazy times, and as you grow. And once again, thank you for work that I can't wait to share that you're doing with me in this.
Yeah,
This benefit that I'll be announcing soon for Parkinson's disease, which means something to me personally. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So listen, if you don't know who Jim Mazza is and you're watching a show, well, first I find you foolish because you should know who he is, because the guy's been doing it for a long time, and the guy is absolutely incredible. I can't curse anymore because I knew his kids were coming soon, so I kept the curse into the beginning of the episode, and then I heard the kids come in, and then I stopped, so I can't drop the F bomb as much as I'd like to.
they've heard
But
it all. Heard it all.
I understand that, my kids too. But man, listen, thank you again for coming on for, I guess, like I said, inning two. I like that because we both like the same baseball team. Even though I feel like we're going to be in for. Are you all in for Boston, by the way? Are you like. So, dude,
No,
it
like I'll take. Yeah, I stick to one team.
yeah, okay, good. Just want to make sure because, dude, this is. I feel like we've had 20 years of the most beautiful thing. Now, the Bruins this year, very excited about. They're doing well. Excited about this weekend. They're playing at Lake Placid, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Red Sox Patriots, man, I don't know how that's gonna look over the next 20 years.
But the Super Bowl, did you watch Tom Brady to see him win his seventh ring, or were you kind of like,
Yeah, well, dude, I named my kid after him. Like, I can't not like, yeah, my kid's name's Brady Williams after Tom Brady
oh,
and Ted Williams. Like, I can't like, so like, dude, it was like, first of all, in the state of Virginia, 8 o'clock in the morning, they announced everything shut down.
yeah,
47 minutes later, dude, I remember it like it was yesterday. This is like, you know how people have like traumatic syndrome? Dude, this is PTSD to the max. My wife's like, I'm in the bathroom, right? And she's like, Anthony, she's like, what? Did you read it? I'm like, read what? She's like, Tom Brady posted what's going on. So I'm like, I'm in the bathroom, go on my phone. Dude, I swear to Ed, I'll swear on a freaking stack of Bibles. Dude, fucking heart stopped. Sweat starts pouring down my head. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then like a couple hours later, he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm like, the fuck, the Buccaneers? Like that's a real like you forget that they're even a fucking team because they don't. Oh, excuse, like kids in the house. You can't. There's a kid show too, which kid show. It's got to be appropriate. Like this is this is where he's going, like the Buccaneers, and then I'm like. And a part of me is like, I hope he fails. I hope that I was. And then I'm like, well, it is Tom Brady. Like he needs to do it on his own. Then I'm like, no, screw him. He needs to fail. And then, and then it's like, oh, he gets Gronkowski there. I'm like, wait a minute. The guy didn't even want to play football. He's in wrestling. He's doing WWE terrible stunts, and now he wants to come back. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna roll in Antonio Brown, and then we're gonna bring in Leonard Fournette. I'm like, what the hell is going on in Tampa Bay?
yeah,
But the dude, I'm cool with him winning the Super Bowl. Good. Listen, the man deserves it. He gave us 20 great years, 6 Super Bowl rings that I'll always be forever grateful for. I got to meet him a couple years ago with my kid. He was amazing to my son. Was absolutely it was a cool moment that we'll never forget. And so I can't knock the guy. I think he's one of the nicest guys out there. The two things that I feel like upset me the most with him was I feel like the winning of the Super Bowl and how like the drunk Tom Brady and like the recklessness one, that kind of like I don't know, like I always expected something different from him.
yeah,
The other thing that really like the thing that pissed me off the most about him leaving was like the Tampa Bay Rays go to the World Series and that mother effer is rooting for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm like, you lived in Boston, Massachusetts, and you have been involved in this for 20 years, for the majority of your life, and you said you want the fucking Tampa Bay Rays to win?
yeah.
How dare
Well,
you?
did he get a bunch of shit for wearing a Yankees hat when he was playing for the
Yes.
Patriots? I
Yeah.
remember.
So, yeah, dude, I kind of remember that too. God, it's terrible how bad and much. In 2006, yeah, he was strolling down with Giselle when they first were dating, and and she had got him a Yankees hat, and he was
Uh,
wearing it, and like,
yeah,
yeah, that kind of blew up. But then he was like, and then it was like, and then it was like 4 days later, he posted a picture on like whatever, like it was him wearing a Red Sox like hat. So like, I was like, all right, all's good, but. He never like officially promoted the Yankees. He never went to Yankee Stadium. He never like said, "Hey, you're in the World Series, Yankees, go Yankees." No, he
just
officially rooted for the fucking Rays.
yeah. I don't know. It was weird for me because I didn't pay attention to football at all this season. But then when I was like, oh, he's gonna. it was funny because I would see everybody talking shit about Tom Brady and how the team's doing horrible and blah blah blah, and I was like, so when they were getting into the playoffs, I was kind of surprised because I hadn't really been paying attention, you know. So I watched like the end of their second to last playoff game, and they made it to the Super Bowl. So I'm like, oh, I might as well watch, you know. And then it was like one of his best games I've ever seen him play in like a Super Bowl, you know. It's like, why
That
didn't you do this? It was like always like heart attack stuff at the Patriots, you know. It's like down to the wire, or you coming back from like 30 points, or you know.
well, not to get into a sports topic show, but I will say this: we can't rip Belichick yet because when Tom Brady left, he left in March. It didn't give him that much time to really build the team he wanted to draft properly to do things. So he gets Cam Newton later in the season, and there was really no weapons for Cam to be throwing to. I'm not a big Cam Newton fan. I think I do like Stidham. I think that you should give him a chance. That's just my opinion. But this year coming up is like Belichick has to put something together, and they have to make the playoffs because if he doesn't, then I think he loses all credibility as a coach. That hey, you're supposed to be this genius of a coach, yet you're not able to kind of counteract. I mean, now did Tom Brady go to a team that was loaded with young talent and a young defense that was absolutely amazing, and he just brought people in with Antonio Brown and all these people? 100%. He just stacked a team that was more stacked. And now, does it sound like they're going to stack the team even more now that all these like three players today were talking about wanting to go there because they want to play with Tom Brady in this free open market team that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where Bruce Arians just sitting back and letting Tom Brady run the show? Probably so. But I am excited to see what is Bill Belichick going to do, because if Cam Newton's a quarterback next year, first of all, I don't think we're making the playoffs again. And two, like I'm excited for the future, but like, man, like watching like Ben Attendee get traded 2 days ago, like that was a heartbreak for me. Like it's just, dude, it's like I said, I have high hopes for this. Like I love what the Celtics right now and the Bruins, probably the next team to win a championship. But yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. I love my Sox and Patriots. And like it's like that's the order. It's like Patriots, Sox are first, Patriots, and then it could probably gonna go Celtics, Bruins. But man, it's gonna be Heartbreak City for a while.
Well, yeah, at least you got some other teams to keep you going.
I guess so. Or I just keep buying prints to sob in my sorrow. So if you are a Patriots and Red Sox fan and you are going to be miserable for the next couple of years, go to MazzaArt.com and buy up the prints, because you need that. You support the people that need supporting.
Sympathy buy.
That's right. All right, Jim. Well, listen, man, I don't want to keep you too long. I know the kids came home. You probably want to go spend time with them. Listen, inning 2, can't thank you enough. Definitely, I know he's got, Jim said he's going to be posting some stuff over the next few months. Keep a lookout for that. Go to MazzaArt.com. There's definitely a lot of great prints there that you can be able to purchase, or you can do like I did and buy the Mazza Cat 3-eyed print, which I have officially purchased about 20 minutes ago. So join the chain and purchase stuff from Jim. Until next time, Jim, do you have anything else that you need to say to the world that is important or life-changing?
No.
And with that, I say, Jim, thank you so much for coming on the Touring Fan Live. Hey, if you're tuning in late and you want to listen to the beginning of this show or the rest of it, you can find this show right after this goes live on the Touring Fan Live's Facebook page. Or as of tomorrow, this will be a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Pandora. And starting April 1st, the Touring Fan Live has partnered with Pandora and SiriusXM. So if you have SiriusXM and you have the app on your phone, starting April 1st, you go to SiriusXM app, search Touring Fan Live, and this show and all the other shows associated with Touring Fan Live will be there. And starting next week, go to www.thetouringfanlive.com and you'll be able to find all of the upcoming shows when they're there. All the podcasts will be there and all the information and everything else I'm trying to push or promote and all the other shit. So hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, I'm Anthony, and that's Jim. Nope, that's Jim. I could fucking never get the pointing done. I always do reverse. That's Jim. Thanks for tuning in for Touring Fan Live.